Alright, hello gamers, welcome back to the show. I'm your charming, self-proclaimed yet still humble host, Mukluk. Today we are back in Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Last time we left off and we had just agreed to settle some courtroom decisions based on our, whatchamacallit, our planet? That's not really the right word, but on the worlds that we run, there's some stuff that has been escalated to the Supreme Court, and that's me. And that has brought us here. I like how there's a big gun in the courtroom. Definitely required.
Dropping by with the Bezos bucks.
Gaming Kitten, thank you. Appreciate that. Court Administrator, you're greeted by an impeccably dressed man with a perfectly straight back. An Arbites scale emblem is embroidered on his clothes. Glory to House Von Valancius. We are honored to welcome you to the Palace of Justice, your lordship. Do you wish to proceed to the session at once, or will you grace me with any questions I might humbly answer? What is this place? This is the Palace of Justice, the 9th residence of House Von Valancius, erected by your esteemed ancestor Benefaz Von Valancius and handed over by Theodora Von Valancius. May she bask in the throne's radiance. To the Adeptus Arbites and the Administratum for judiciary use, cases of special interest are heard at this palace. Sentences are carried out here also. Are there any such institutions elsewhere in my protectorate? No, your lordship. As is the case with the rest of the Imperium, worlds make do with the traditional method. The accused are not allowed to say a word, and executions are carried out as ordered by planetary authorities or by powerful organizations of the Imperium. That's the traditional method? Only here on Dargonus does such an unusual ceremony exist. Benefaz von Valancius was known for his eccentricities. It is said that he invented the system himself and started this glorious tradition in which you are taking part today. What kind of cases are usually heard here? Only the most important ones that involve the interests of the highest-born persons and prominent factions of the Imperium. Disputes between noble houses that go on for generations, conflicts between the God Emperor's servants who are vested with authority, and whose disagreements about trade and security in the Protectorate, and other litigations of supreme significance. Solomorn. The cases litigated at the Palace of Justice quite literally concern matters of life and death. In such instances, there is always a guilty party whose lies, connivances, or negligence have caused damage to the Protectorate. The task of the judge is to establish guilt and pass a stern sentence, as order cannot be imposed without those or without summary executions. Let us begin. Please follow me. Prefect Inscribia Vulture. Inscribia Vulture's dreary Vox-amplified voice carries across the hall. The courts will now hear case DP1453/2. The doleful host against the astropathic choir of Dargonus. Representatives for the parties will present their arguments following standard procedure. Sister Juth. A woman with lines of scripture all over her skin folds her arms into an aquila. My name is Sister Juth, and I represent the doleful host. O God Emperor's appointed one, we came upon a group of heretics whose minds brimmed with the most shameless thoughts. We captured them and tortured them as befits their transgressions. You haven't actually said that they did anything yet. From what we were able to discern from their wailing and screaming, the head of the astropathic choir is plotting to betray House Von Valancius. No one is a liar when flame is caressing their flesh. The doleful host has surrounded the choir building and demanded that the heretic be handed over. It was solely out of respect for the Anointed One that we refrained from burning down the wayward heretic's den on the spot. However, say but the word, and we shall take him that he may undergo a righteous cleansing. The arguments are acknowledged and shall be weighed on the scale of justice. The representative will retreat to the Chapel of Patience to await the verdict. Master Angelio. The gaunt man dressed in Astropath's robes is standing tall, but his voice trembles with fury. I am Master Angelio. I represent the Dargonus Astropathic Choir. These insidious and ignorant people are passing off their victims' ravings as truth. Your lordship, people will say anything under torture just to make the agony stop. We have served House Von Valancius faithfully for decades, Master Prost the longest of all. Please, order them to stand down. The master of the court repeats the same monotonous formula, bidding the other representative to leave the courtroom. Switch on your Vox. Vigdis, quick, ask our ship's choir master whether Master Pross of Dargonis has been known to engage in any compromising behavior. At once, Lord Captain. The Palace of Justice falls silent for several minutes until Vigdis's voice returns. Choir Master Wise has known Master Pross for a long time. He has made a very measured statement to the effect that for some time now the mental image conveyed by Pross have taken on a shade of profound anxiety and have become more aloof and detached overall. Zachary Weiss attributes this to Pross's horrific experience during the Warp Storm, but he is less than completely sure, as there is still something that sets the Dargonis Choir Master's messages apart from those of his fellow survivors. Why are they putting things on the scales? The Scales of Justice are a sacred relic installed as a testament to the alliance between the Von Valancia's dynasty on one side and the Adeptus Arbites and the Administratum on the other. Legends say ancient machine spirits dwell within the relic. The Scales of Justice are only used on extraordinary occasions when an intervention from the rogue trader is necessary. Ceremony dictates that items symbolizing the party's arguments are placed on the scales, and once the verdict is announced, the machine spirits weigh the decision made and show either affirmation or rejection through the position of the scales. However, there has never been an occurrence where the rogue trader and the spirit of the scales were divided on the verdict. Thank God you finally quit Guild Wars 2. Yep, quit it forever until tomorrow. Yes, hello there. Hey, Kenobi. Tech use. It is highly unlikely that such an artifact actually exists. Judging by the design of the device, it is nothing more than a set of regular, albeit enormous and masterfully crafted weight scales devoid of machine spirits of any kind. Someone must be secretly manipulating the plates in order to add greater profoundness to the rogue trader's verdict. Give me details about the party in this conflict. I want to see who among them is trustworthy. As the prefect leans toward you, you get a whiff of ink and candle wax. The Doleful Host is a respected cult of the God Emperor. The Adeptus Ministorum has deemed them to be paragons of virtue, who combat every manner of heresies and has enlisted their aid in various conflicts. Naturally, the Ecclesiarchy stops short of counting them among its warriors, but it uses them in very similar ways. The Astrobathic Choir hardly needs an introduction. They are some of the most valuable servants of the Imperium, without whom any and all communication between your worlds would collapse. The Dargonis Choir took horrific casualties in the recent major warp storm. Master Pross made an enormous effort to at least partially restore communication. While we may not have proof of his innocence, Pross's dedication to his duty is beyond doubt. The old woman locks her shriveled fingers together. As you can see, this is an intricate situation. Lore Imperium failed. You have no way of knowing what the correct decision would be. This looks like a complicated issue. So I think this used my skill checks and not my party's. But I can't really... Yeah, it used mine. I would like to hear out the parties. Again? I'm afraid they've already said what they had to say and are humbly awaiting their fate. I want to hear my retinue's opinions. Both parties have shown disrespect for the Imperium's authority. The Doleful Host is engaging in mob justice. The defendant did not even deign to stand trial in person. Sentence them both to death. That would be the optimal outcome? Ha! Solomon, is it not excessive to execute both parties? No. Such a verdict will remind your subjects that only the rogue trader has the right to administer justice. Besides, if you take the host side, it will inspire new self-proclaimed executioners. If you absolve the Astropath and he turns out to have been guilty after all, other heretics will feel safe to act with impunity. That's why I advise you to be stern. The Lex is on your side. Now, what would a dogmatic guy do? Would he do more investigation into this? Or would he just shoot everybody? He would shoot everyone? Oh, man. Poll? No, I'm not gonna do a poll right now. Two options. Declare verdict based on present law here and now. Dig for further corruption. Potentially more people to shoot later. I'm gonna say further investigation. This situation is complex and requires further investigation. The prefect's dry fingers pressed down on the runes of her data slate. As I thought. I deeply regret to inform you that said further investigation is impossible. The host fighters are already breaking down the doors of the choir. Delaying the decision would lead to uncontrollable consequences. What? I heard you and I am ready to pass my judgment. Who is to face the death penalty? -4 security and efficiency for the planet if you dismiss both. That's so stupid. I agree with Solomon. Both parties in the case are guilty. Execute them. +2 security. A harsh verdict, but from now on your subjects will hardly dare escalate situations to the point of open clashes. In cases similar to this one, of course. The road trader has made his decisions. Arbitrators carry it out. We just got a giant melta cannon inside the courtroom. Oh nice, one of the corpses stayed up there. Great. The prefect proceeds matter-of-factly to the next scroll. The court will now hear petition CR 154733 restated. The petitioner is Cardinal Anvelos. Your arguments, please, Cardinal. A gaunt man raises his bloodshot eyes at you. For a moment, all sounds cease, even the scratching of the countless servo skull's quills. The man's gaze is full of pain so strong and undiluted that your breath seizes in your throat. I am impure, O Emperor's anointed one. I am beset by impure thoughts, but no one believes my confessions. I have been giving away the treasures I possess only for people to bring me more. Worse still is the knowledge that I am leading people astray. They look at me and believe a state of perfect grace is attainable while I am very tired. The Cardinal blinks away a tear and continues. Most terrible of all is that my brethren, the preachers of the Coronis Expanse, see me as a holy man. Their delusion has been so persistent that they sent a petition to Holy Terra asking that I be made a saint. That was when I became firm in my decision to submit to torture in front of my congregation, thus reminding them that no holiness exists unless bestowed by a gift of the God Emperor. Even clerics of my rank can and must repent, thus becoming more pure every day. Please allow me to undergo mortal torture in his name in front of my parishioners. Am I hearing this correctly? Is the Cardinal asking to be tortured to death for his wickedness? That is correct. In addition, he insists on your subjects bearing witness to it, as a lesson to them, so to speak. To refuse a cardinal is impious in itself, but to execute one who is a saint in all but name. You devise an elegant rendering of the sentence, one that will convince everyone that you are in the right and save you from being branded saint killer. All you must do is accuse the cardinal of intending to murder an all but not canonized individual. So we pin a fake crime on him? That's my genius idea? What does my retinue have to say? Situation analysis complete. Let the paradox cease, let functionality triumph. Suggestion: use the unit Cardinal Anvelos' organic remains to construct a servo skull herald and place it in an automated chapel. The status of sainthood will be extended to the liturgical mechanism. The blood-spun web is knowledgeable in ways to torment one's flesh without going to the undying one before due time. Damen, allow us to help Cardinal Anvelos attain enlightenment and experience the purity of a near-death state. Undergoing our rite should make him realize it is not in his gift to sever his own thread. According to the Lex Imperialis, a candidate saint may personally challenge their sainting by petitioning the Ecclesiarch on a Holy Terra. Sidestepping the head of the Imperial cult is a violation of the Emperor's law. Since astropathic communication with the rest of the Imperium has been disrupted, I propose to put Cardinal Anvilas on a ship that crosses the Maw so that he can submit his request with every formality observed. He will die. Crossing the Maw right now will kill him. But Solomon, the Maw is closed. That does nothing to diminish the stipulations of the Lex Imperialis. Besides, following the letter of the law absolves you of the necessity of tainting your hands with the blood of a potential saint. Either the Cardinal will cross the Maw, thus proving his sainthood, or he will perish if the Emperor wills it. As you can see, the Lex Imperialis has all the answers. Yeah, just feed him to the warp, it's fine. I am ready to pass judgment. The rogue trader speaks. Hold on, I'm looking at what we're gonna get from these. The one that gives the most stuff appears to be Pascal's. Okay. You heard Pascal. Cardinal Anvilas shall die an honorable death and continue to serve the faith as part of a sacred machine. I imagine the verdict will horrify the Cardinal, but on the other hand, centuries from now, his followers will still be able to listen to his recorded sermons and worship his remains with the same fanatical zeal as in the National Saint's lifetime. Expect generous donations toward the construction of an automated chapel, since many will want to have part in such a momentous event. You're welcome. I thought he was gonna get shot. Servo Skull Cannon, fire. The rogue trader has made his will clear. Cardinal Anvilas will leave the Palace of Justice and escape his fate. Oh, sorry, accept his fate. That's a very different sentence. Let us move on to the last case for today. Ah, they travel in threes. The court will now hear case DP16467, Lady Malles Secundus against the late Lord Malles. Lord Malles being deceased, he will be represented by his progeny, Agartha and Sigillus Malles. Representatives from both parties will present their arguments following standard procedure. Your Lordship, I am Lady Malles Secundus. Only 8 cycles ago, a man broke into my house posing as my husband, the late Lord Malles. Contrary to what I know, he denies that he was killed by pirates. Instead, he purportedly survived thanks to the God Emperor's provenance. However, I hold here his death certificate issued by the Administratum, which clearly states my husband passed away. I demand that the fraud be executed. So your husband might be alive, but you're like, wait, that ruins the paperwork? The woman belligerently waves around a scroll at which the words declared dead are clearly visible. The arguments are acknowledged and shall be weighed on the scales of justice. The representative will retreat to the Chapel of Patience to await the verdict. Agartha. Your Lordship, our father did survive. He really was captured by pirates who were going to demand ransom. But the Imperial Navy managed to board the ship and rescue him. After he went missing, our mother, Lady Malles, arranged for a death certificate before we received the good news. Now we are in the humiliating position of having to prove our father is alive while our mother is living with her new husband, Lord Secundus, and has taken over the family business. We implore you to restore Lord Malles to his life and name. He is humbly awaiting your decision in the Chapel of Patience. All arguments have been acknowledged. Let the rogue trader's verdict be delivered. And what does Lord Malles have to say? The prefect plays a vox recording on one of the servo skulls. The soft voice is interspersed with static, but you're able to make out the words. I am Malles. When the pirates captured me, I thought I was doomed, but fate proved to be more gracious than that. I hurried home only to from my own house by my servants and learned Lady Malles had already declared me dead and married Lord Secundus. She'd also taken control of our everything. Agartha and Sigillus have recognized me. I'm losing my mind. What does the Malles family do? The prefect turns on one of her countless data slates. The Malus family manufactures nutritional rations. They supply the Astra Militarum as well as worlds that have no food production of their own. They make MREs? With the Lord at the helm, they covered the needs of 3 regiments and 5 worlds. Now it is 5 regiments and 12 worlds. One might say Lady Mala Secundus has done a much better job than her husband did. Lady Mala Secundus' talents are self-evident. She could easily boost production on any planet. What might be called her promotion under the guise of punishment would bring tangible benefits. You just so happen to think of several backwater worlds that have good potential but lack the capable stewardship to match it. That was a commerce test. Oh wait, that did use Cassia's number. Let my retinue speak. Heinrichs rubs the bridge of his nose, looking tired. This absurdity has dragged on for too long. So be it. The Emperor is my witness. I'm reluctant to revisit my early training experience in the Administratum, but I'm going to have to. Does Lady Mala Secundus have a paper that certifies she is alive? If not, the defendant is to be deemed dead with all that entails. This is a complicated situation, but Lady Mala Secundus was acting in the Imperium's interest. She had shouldered the duty of care for the family business and was in no position to wallow in her grief for cycles upon cycles. Cassia throws back her shoulders and says in a dignified voice, "A marriage between people of noble birth is a union of 2 servants of the Emperor. Duty toward the Imperium is at the heart of that union. If there comes a long period of time when one of the spouses is unable to fill their obligations, the marriage loses its meaning." Chad, if you get captured by pirates, your marriage is nullified. If you could codify this understanding in law, that would help resolve the situation. If Lady Mala Secundus is right, then her children are the imposter's accomplices and are guilty of defaming the authenticity of administrative documents. Now Solomorn has enough sang-froid in him for a regiment. Let the woman know that her heirs must face the same fate as the criminal, for so stipulates the Emperor's law. Okay, wait, is this just, like, bluffing? Are we just telling her we're going to, like, take out her children and then it's just a bluff? Or are we actually doing it? Let the woman know her heirs face the same fate as the criminal. Alright, let's try this. I'm hoping this is a bluff, but I can't tell. What that muck is going on right now? Blue, we're in court. We're a judge. Prefect, relay Solomon's words to Lady Mala Secundus. As you wish. The prefect's dry fingers tap quickly on her data slate. Soon afterwards, she looks up from the vid screen and says in a colorless voice, Lady Mala Secundus has confessed to bribing an administratum official and is pleading for her offspring to be spared. Okie dokie. There we go. This is like King Solomon. Oh, we're just gonna cut the baby in half. The case is clear to me now. I am ready to pass my verdict. All will be silent. What is your decision, your lordship? Heinrichs is right about the importance of paperwork. If Lady Malus does not have the certificate in question, her children will inherit her property. +1 efficiency. Cassia's perspective on marriage, you've heard his Christ. Alright, this one gives us 3 profit factor, which is massive. So, I hereby sentence Lady Mala Secundus to a duty of exploration in the development of the Protectorate's fringe worlds. Give her everything she needs to conduct her business. I expect her results to be impressive. As she has been found guilty, Lord Malas is to be deemed alive. Lady Mala Secundus will depart for her place of exile before today's ends. Arbitrators carry out the sentence. As the last attendants leave the courtroom, the prefect turns to you with a delighted expression. Lady Theodora held court sessions like this to strengthen her subjects' faith in the Lex Imperialis and the fear of their breaching it. A most useful practice, wouldn't you agree? It was amusing at first, but not for long. If we are finally done, I will take my leave. Of course, your lordship. I dare not take it any more of your time. Okay. A sacred symbol of the Imperium's justice, implacable and unsparing. Alright. Quick save. Alright, we got a few level ups here. Let's see what we got. Overseer. He's on ally. No. Side by side's not bad. When you and your pet are side by side, your chance to dodge is better. It's amazing how justice can correlate with skill ups. Truly, yes. Oh, that's right. Hold on. I was going to get heavy armor. Let's get that. Alright, so let's see here. So hold on, where's the heavy stuff? That's light, 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 light. I know I had some. Medium, medium. Is it all at the end? Heavy, 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 heavy. Okay. Medium, 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 heavy. Alright, so from here onward. Let's see, 40%. Let's dodge. 60% armor. Let's dodge. Plus 2 deflection against ranged attacks. 60% armor. This one's 55. He's got like a shoulder cannon or something. Okay. Alright. Cabela. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, does she have that one thing where she can... Is it like dual weapon proficiency? Prerequisites, dual weapon combat. Can attack with the second weapon in their current weapon set in addition to the usual 1 attack per round. This attack suffers a penalty and costs 1 AP more. Let's try that. Muck, if not Ranger, what would you play as a main? Either Engineer or Necromancer. Those Ranger, Engineer, Necro are my top 3 played. Right, Cassia. Fellowship.